This is the W2 Report with Sanji Himura. Here's Sanji.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the W2 Report. I'm your host, Sanji Himura. Today, we take a look at the PlayStation Store plan to test dynamic pricing on video games. But before we do, let us go over the ground rules, Lord Crocosquirrel, as always.
Rule 1, do not be the dick. Rule 2, if you have any questions about our intent, etc., and what we're actually thinking about here, please refer to rule number 1. Do not contact anybody we've been bitching about, because that's going to be a thing. That's actually going to be a thing that will get everybody into trouble.
Yes. And we would be forced to disavow any knowledge of your existence if you do.
Squee.
Now, before we proceed any further, let us introduce Mr. Lend for the week.
Not for the week. He's permanent party. He's got a lifetime contract.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yep. And Sanji's going to increase our pay by like 3,000%. Oh, wait, he's not actually paying. So it doesn't matter. I could put 300 billion on it, and it won't make a bit of difference. My paycheck will still be the same. Jack and shit.
Well, actually, I'm paying you in dynamic pricing, so F that.
Yeah, this is true. I get the occasional video game.
Now, Sony's PlayStation Store has been testing dynamic pricing on video games. Regions from around the world has been a part of an experiment that displays different prices for the same PS5 games. I have two questions. One, what makes them think that Sony can get away with that? And two, how is this not illegal?
I actually have to admit, region-based dynamic pricing. My question is,
region-based pricing has been a thing for I don't even know how long.
Yeah, region-based pricing, isn't that what Steam does?
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
it's been that way for I don't even know how long. It's been a long freaking time.
Yes, but before we proceed any further, let's define the term dynamic pricing.
That will help.
Dynamic pricing is a revenue model, quoting from the article, where a company will switch up the cost of an item for different users. These changes are dependent on a variety of factors such as purchase history data, location, inventory, demand, time of day, weather, and income level. Though controversial, dynamic pricing has seen a surge in a variety of industries, from grocery stores to the housing market. Price discrepancies can have a wide range, or they can be minor depending on the industry. But
so let me say something here. Okay, we've actually seen that in our. We've actually been seeing that in terms of food prices. Late, because after things started to improve, the food prices went down, which is a thing, admittedly, not a bad thing.
No,
we also see it. We've been seeing it for for most of a century, actually just about a century, for gasoline. And when you have physical products, this is not unheard of nor unexpected for a great many things.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the whole, we just put that on sale, fuck you. What else we got? Okay, but for video games, the only thing since there's no supply, the supply is infinite for downloadable games.
Mm-hmm.
Their dynamic pricing cannot be based on market conditions. Sure, What's the demand? Not a problem. It costs you nothing to put somebody else in the download position. Nothing. You have an infinite number of units available. So why are you doing that? Okay. Yeah. Nintendo started speaking about market conditions, and my first thought was, sure, dickbags. Then they jacked up the price of the original Switch up, and I was actually just flat stunned. Yay! But yeah, no. You want more? If you want more players, you charge less for it when you're in places where the money isn't worth as much.
In the case of the PlayStation Store, a website called PS Prices has been tracking the numbers across Sony's digital platform.
And
here is the website in question. Sony has been running a large-scale A/B price test. The same games were shown to different users at different prices with discounts up to 27.8%. The experiment includes over 190 games in 70-plus regions, including the U.S., the largest PlayStation market. The testing has been running for more than 4 months.
sounds about right. As long as they're not using as far as I'm concerned, as long as they're not using U.S. markets, or excuse me, Western markets, the bigger Western markets to do that, I'm not having a problem with that. If they're price matching against if they are price matching against for currency conversion, then sure, why not?
Well, here's the problem. They are using the U.S. as a testing ground.
Okay, fine. If you want to do that, you're going to get your dick stepped on. And yes, that is inexcusable, in my opinion. And I'm allowed to have one of those.
Well, when you say it like that, they're not really in a lot of danger because they're doing this to PlayStation customers who are already used to that and have been praising PlayStation for doing that to them.
I cannot imagine for the life of me why they would do that. I can't. No, I just can't.
What, stepping on the PlayStation user base's dicks?
Yeah.
Now,
that's a major issue thing.
Here's how the U.S. is participating. Well, quote, actually, let me rephrase. Here's how the U.S. is, quote, participating in the experiment. In early March 2026, we discovered that Sony had included the U.S. PlayStation's largest market, the U.S., in the pricing experiment. 189 games are that were released in the U.S. was involved in the experiment, the largest set amongst all regions. The discounts in the U.S. are significantly deeper than in Europe. Up to 27.8% for Helldivers 2 and 24.4% for The Last of Us Part 1.
Okay. So they're using mostly older games, things that have been released more than a year or two ago. And the remaster of The Last of Us Part 1 is actually quite old.
Sony's first-party hits are included Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, and Gran Turismo 7.
You know what? They can do that. I don't care.
They can do that to their own products, but they can't. But
doing that to somebody else's products would be kind of rude.
Yeah.
Well, actually, funnily enough, The Last of Us is a Sony property. It's considered a first. It's considered
The
a
first party title. Yeah.
first party title. I'm not sure about Helldivers though. If they did that, they had to get permission.
I don't think they did. That's the thing.
No, wait, with Helldivers, no, they're basically the publisher for Helldivers too.
Oh, in which case they don't. In which case nobody gives a fuck. At least not enough people to make it worth it.
Yeah, that came out when they blocked Helldivers 2 in 170 countries.
Oof!
It's like they had the rights to do that. So yeah, they're well within their rights for the price changing.
Okay,
and I have to admit, it's so far so standard because the prices are staying the same across region. The prices are uniform within the regions themselves.
But if they start
actually, let's take a look. Spider-Man 2, regular price $80. Experimental price $70.
Okay.
Difference of 12.5%.
Yeah, 12.5. If they got it down to $60, that'd be 25. And maybe you don't want to do that, but hey.
Yeah, nothing nefarious so far.
Ditto with God of War Ragnarok.
Okay. Except God of War Ragnarok was less pricey to begin with. It was still in the $60 range.
Stellar Blade. Same with that.
Yeah. Fine. Whatever. That being said, that means if they're doing the flexible pricing down, they might decide at some point to run it up, and that would be very bad.
That is the danger that we are presenting here today. Despite the discounts, we are actually warning people to beware of dynamic pricing, because anytime they see a hit, they can ring that price up,
and they could do it quickly,
and on unsuspecting people as well.
Mind you, raising prices, they're going to have to be careful, really careful, because if they go too hard, or it gets up over $70 or so, maybe 80, no 70. Then people are going to notice, and they're going to have issues.
This is for the German region.
Well, Germany's can sometimes be more difficult to deal with, because they have some very specific rules about some things.
Okay. In addition to Sony, major publishers are participating in the experiment include 2K Games, Focus Entertainment, Deep Silver, Bethesda, Rockstar Games, and others. Now, again, this is Germany, but let's not focus on where the dynamic pricing was occurring, but how much. Here's WWE 2K25. Regular price $74.99. Experimental price $61.82, with a difference of 17.6%. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Regular price $70. Experimental price $58.35 for a 16.6% decrease. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, $69.99. Experimental price $59.67. For a difference of 14.9%. Doom the Dark Ages. Regular price $80. Experimental price $70 for a difference of 12.5%. Red Dead Redemption 2, regular price $50. Experimental price $14.99 for a difference of 10%.
Yeah, these are more or less just sales at this point. Again, if they jack them up over their original release price, that's when people are going to bitch.
Yes.
Now, where did we hear about all this from? Initially.
Well, I heard it through a Young Ye video.
Okay. Did we actually find you found? I seem to recall you having found an article for this.
Yes, here it is right here.
Yes, your friend and mine, Patty Hernandez. Patricia Hernandez is a really weird creature, and she was well and truly part of the origins of Gamergate. You can yell at me if you want for that, but you know what? It was about the ethical situation. It really was, because all these people put out when it really launched hardcore. All of these people had printed gamers don't have to be gamers aren't your audience. And why are they not the audience? We play games. That's what we do. We pay for games and play them. Okay. I made a video at that time about the media outlets biting the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this actually started all over a game on a game called Depression Quest, which was reviewed, which is professionally reviewed by Patty Hernandez there. After Nathan Grayson handed it to her. So far so chill, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem, of course, is that Zoe at that time had been sleeping with Grayson, and whilst he couldn't do the review, he could pass it off to Zoe's ex-girlfriend / ex-roommate. And funnily enough, it got a glowing fracking review. What the unholy fuck. And then we got evidence of the collusion when they said gamers don't have to be your audience. And and then my video for gaming journalists bite hands or some shit. I forget the actual title. But if you go digging through my back catalog all the way down to the bottom, that you'll find it there. Just don't mind the robo voice, because that's what I had.
Mm.
That's what I had available to me. It was a thing. So yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the part of the program where we have to cut it off for the week, for Monday,
For the day, yeah. Don't worry, we'll be back on Wednesday with more shit. It'll be great.
Yes. I do have to say, when Zoe Quinn came in and cried about gamers so-called attacking women, she wasn't completely wrong. Nathan Grayson is only technically a man.
No. And unfortunately, this is where we have to end it off for today. I am your host, Sanji Himura. Remember to do all the YouTubey things, and beware, the tax man cometh.
Hello, folks. This is Morgan Freeman. This concludes our broadcast today. I'm Morgan Freeman. Good night.